All right, day 2 of our project here. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to graph the final balloon equation on Desmos. You should already have that, all right? So let's graph that thing. Then we're going to record the values of f of x on page 5. And you can use Desmos to help you with this. And let me show you real quickly how we can do that. I mentioned this yesterday, but here's what we got. Let's say you enter your equation. Here's my equation right here, my graph. It's not perfect, but it's decent, okay? So yours should hopefully look something a little different, okay? But if we do this, we can add a table. And so if I add a table, I can come over here. Now notice up here, I called this f of x, all right? And so by saying f of x equals, then what I can do is I can come down to the table and I can call this f parentheses x and close that. Oh, we need to make this x1. Notice here in the table this is x1 and we have f of x1. That's important. Now if I type 0 in here, it'll give me, this is the x coordinate and the y coordinate of the intercept really there, okay? So we've got 0, 6, so on and so forth. So what we want this to do is we want to record this by tens. And so if I hit enter now down here in the bottom right corner, I hit enter, then there it'll automatically go by tens now, and I can crank this out real quickly. And you can do it for your equation, all right? You got to make sure you have entered f of x up top here, all right? So make sure that this is entered, and then you can compute this. Now, we're also going to need to figure out what the circumference is, and the equation is given for the circumference. And so let's go back actually here to our steps, all right? After you do that, you can draw a cross-section graph, use these coordinates to get a cross-section graph, these coordinates that we just got in the table here, all right? And then next, you can read step 3, and we'll compute the circumference and what we'll call wx, which is going to be half of the circumference. And to do that, as it says in the handout, the circumference is 2 pi times f of x. And you can make yourself an equation in Desmos. You can type that equation, 2 pi f of x, this guy right there. And we can add that to our table, all right? And so we can call that, let's call that C of, and again, we've got to call it x1. No, actually, is that right? No. We want to take the f of x and put it into there. So let's back that up. We want to put f of x, which is the y value, f of x1 in there. So a little composition, a little function composition. In other words, the circumference, circumference here at the mouth should be 44, all right? So if we have a radius of 6, 2 pi r, that'd be 12 times pi, that gives us 44. Yep, that's what we want, all right. So that's the idea, and then we can create these. You can write them down, record them, to the nearest 10th or so there, all right? So that's the idea, and then you can use this table for the other ones, and you can compute the other parts. Okay, we're going to go record those, C of x and wx, record them on page 4. Okay, then we're going to read step 4, and we'll compute a of n. This one gets a little challenging, so work together, all right? If you're careful, you can do it on Desmos, but you might want to crank some out by hand to make sure what you're getting in the table actually is the numbers you need to get, all right? And then one last thing on Desmos here, I would recommend that you go ahead and log in up here, okay? Log in with your Google account, all right? Your school Google account, and then save this. Give it a name, call it a balloon project or something like that, okay? And then save it, project, okay? Save that, and now you can come back, you can log in tomorrow, you can pull this up. If you make a mistake, you can fix it. So you don't have to redo all this, okay? So please do go ahead and save that, all right? I might have you turn it in even. So Okay, so very good. All right, then last step, if we have time, we're going to glue together our 3 panels and read step 5 carefully and go to page 6 and work on drawing the panel. Okay, so do that if you have time there. Okay, hopefully we will. And then on Monday, we'll get gluing the panels together. If you want to start going through the tissue paper and claiming the tissue paper you need, you're going to need to make some panels. You'll be gluing together 3 panels of tissue paper. A lot of people like to do different colored panels, all right? And we'll talk about how we'll be gluing those together. You're going to do a real thin bead of glue here, super thin, and then you'll press it down and overlap. So if you want to get started on that, you can, or if you just want to start claiming some tissue paper if you have time, you can do that, all right? We'll make the panels and glue them together next week, all right? So work hard. Be ready to get those panels going.